The Bible never says Eden was the first civilization. We just assumed it was. And that assumption is why Genesis feels confusing. Genesis doesn't open with clarity. It opens with chaos, darkness, formlessness, a world that already needs order. Then Eden appears, and somehow a serpent is already there. Intelligent, strategic, speaking as if this place has history. And Adam, he's not told to discover the world. He's told to subdue it, to rule, to guard something that can be lost. Those aren't first creation instructions. They're restoration instructions. Now let's slow down. This doesn't require extra books. This is Genesis itself. No lost manuscripts. No hidden gospels. No ancient myth stitched in later. This is about how the text speaks. Its verbs, its sequence, its assumptions. What it explains. What it doesn't. What it treats as new. And what it treats as already known. We're not adding meaning. We're noticing where meaning is assumed. Context. Grammar. Careful reading. Nothing more. And once you read Genesis that way, it stops feeling strange and starts feeling precise. Watch the language carefully. Not the story. The words. When humanity is placed into the world, God gives instructions. Fill the earth. Subdue it. Have dominion. Those are not neutral verbs. They imply something already in motion. You don't fill what was never filled. You don't subdue what never resisted. You don't take dominion over something that has never pushed back. That language only makes sense if order is being asserted, not initiated. And that's the moment most people miss. Because once you hear it, you can't unhear it. And if that's true, then Eden isn't starting something. It's responding to something. Now let's rethink Eden. Most people imagine it as the entire world. A perfect global paradise. A blank slate for humanity. But the text doesn't say that. Look closely, Eden was localized. A single garden. Rivers flow out of it, not into it. The world already exists around it. It's a foothold, a base of operations, not the totality of creation. And Adam, he isn't simply created there. He is placed, positioned inside something that already had structure. Boundaries, rivers, trees, a serpent already at work. This is subtle but crucial. Eden wasn't a universal beginning. It was strategic. A checkpoint in a world that already had challenges, observers, and systems in place. Eden wasn't the world. It was a foothold inside it. Everything that happens next, the command to guard, to cultivate, to subdue, only makes sense with this in mind. Eden is not the story of first creation. It's a story of positioning. A place chosen to restore order. A point from which authority could be exercised. A foothold in a reality that was already complex and populated. The story is larger than Adam. It's bigger than a garden. It's a cosmic handoff, a test, a mission, a strategy. All before humanity even begins to shape the world. Now let's look at the serpent. Notice something striking. He is already intelligent. He is already speaking. He is already strategic. The text doesn't pause. It doesn't explain. It doesn't give a backstory. Because it assumes you already know. Genesis never explains where he came from. Because the audience already knew. That one line is critical. It's a reminder, this world has history before Adam. Obedience and rebellion aren't new. Authority and disobedience already exist. The serpent isn't a random test. He's a player in an ongoing story, positioned, prepared, and active. And here's the subtle thing. You don't need the full history to feel its weight. You just sense that something came before Eden. Something that shaped the rules, the stakes, the players. This is why Genesis can be read over and over. Because the story assumes context. Context that is never fully spelled out. Let's see what happens when the mission fails. Adam isn't just disobedient. He doesn't just eat fruit. He fails at the task he was entrusted with. Eden isn't lost because of curiosity. It's lost because the order he was meant to enforce collapsed under his watch. The serpent had already been there, intelligent, strategic, aware. Adam was placed in a world where authority, obedience, and boundaries already mattered. When he fails, the consequences aren't just personal. They ripple through the structure he inherited. The foothold is lost. The reset is interrupted. The mission collapses. And this is the line most people miss. Adam wasn't expelled from paradise. He was removed from a mission he failed to complete. It reframes everything. Sin isn't just a moral lapse. It's a loss of role, a failure to uphold responsibility. The garden wasn't just a home. It was a strategic checkpoint in a cosmic pattern. And failing there meant the pattern shifted for him, for humanity, for the world. Once you see Eden this way, everything that follows, rebellion, exile, chaos, restoration, begins to make sense. And that's exactly the point. The story isn't about guilt. It's about structure, order, and consequences. The events in Eden aren't isolated. They are part of a much longer conflict. Now step back and see the bigger picture. Eden isn't the beginning. It's a reset, a restoration, a foothold in a world that already existed, already fractured, already tested. Light is separated from darkness, not created from scratch. Boundaries are reestablished, not invented for the first time. Order is imposed, not initiated. Genesis isn't describing creation from nothing. It's describing order being reimposed after something went wrong. Adam isn't the first ruler. He isn't the first observer. He inherits a mission, a world, and stakes that predate him. And that changes everything. The story isn't just about life starting. It's about roles, authority, and responsibility being handed over. And the instructions Adam receives, fill, subdue, have dominion, make sense only in that context. You see now why Genesis feels intense, why it feels urgent. Because Adam is stepping into a game that's already in play. The board is set, the players exist. And history is waiting to be continued. This is why Eden isn't the world. It's a strategic zone, a checkpoint, a reset point. The serpent is already there. The rules are already in motion. And Adam is stepping into a pre-existing game. One he wasn't shaping, only inheriting. Now think about this. If Eden wasn't the first civilization, if Adam wasn't humanity's beginning, then what we thought of as history is only a chapter in a much longer story. Patterns we see in Genesis, authority given, boundaries tested, rebellion, consequences. They didn't start with Adam. They existed before humanity arrived. And the pattern didn't disappear when Adam failed. It moved forward. It repeated. It landed inside human civilization. Think about your world. Government, systems, institutions, relationships. Authority is given. Power is delegated. Boundaries exist. And rebellion still happens. It's the same pattern. Only now humans are part of it. Which is why Genesis 6 stops being strange. The corruption, the violence, the Nephilim, it's all part of a pattern that existed long before Eden. And now you start to see it personally. Not as theory, not as ancient history, but as a framework you're already living inside. The Bible never hides this. It just never explains it all in one place. Creation isn't presented as a tidy beginning. Eden isn't framed as a fresh start. Authority, rebellion, and restoration already have a history before humans even enter the picture. And that's why the next story gets darker. Because once the pattern is set, the consequences unfold. The stakes rise, and humanity is caught in the aftermath. If this changed how you read Genesis, then the rest of this series will not let you unsee what comes next. The story isn't over. It's only beginning. Now I want to hear from you. If Eden wasn't the first civilization, what do you think existed before it? How does that change the way you read Genesis? Share your thoughts below. The Bible never spells this out, and your insight could unlock a perspective others have missed. Don't stop there. Subscribe to The Forgotten Scroll and join me as we uncover the stories the Bible never fully explains. Hit the bell so you never miss the next revelation, because the deeper truths are only revealed to those who stay. See you in the next video.